Welcome back to Trash Panda Off-Road. The 2.3 is in, and now we just got to figure out how to make it run right. Well, that was short-lived. I just went to try to start it again because I wanted to give it a little throttle and see how it would act under some throttle, and now it's not starting again. So that was great while it lasted. Let's see if I push that down about there, halfway-ish. Maybe that helps it. Nope. I didn't change anything. I don't know what happened. I had it running and now it's not. This time I messed around and I pushed this thing all the way up. I figured I might as well just start there. And it started. So now let's see if it does it again. I can't get it to start 2 times in a row. There we go. Okay, so it's running way shooting up in the RPMs. I'm wondering if because I think you have to like recalibrate the throttle position sensor, or maybe the idle sensor is not wired out right. I don't know. We're going to start putting the front end back together, fan, power steering, all that stuff, because we're counting this as a win so far. So we'll put everything back in it, and then we'll see what we can do to get this thing to work properly. Since we got this thing to start yesterday, today we went ahead, put the radiator back in, put the fan on. You have to do a pusher fan once you do the 2-liter swap, just because you run out of room in there. So put the fan back in, put the radiator back in. I showed you guys these on the 2-liter, but how I mounted that was just ran a L bracket with some riv nuts holding that in, and then when I put my power steering reservoir, it goes right here. So the thing that I did do today, that the hoses don't line up anymore once you center the new radiator. I don't know why that is, but it happened on the other one as well. So on the top radiator hose, you cut off about 1 inch on each end, and then you can get it to match that curve. And then on the bottom one, you just cut off 1 inch on this side, and that gets it to suck up, but it's still very tight. I put another piece of hose in there just to support it. There is clearance in there, maybe 1/4 inch, but I always just throw another piece of hose in there just for the heck of it. So that's really all we got done today. Getting that up, getting that put together. Probably going to put the heat shield back on, put the power steering reservoir back on, and probably call that a day. I did do some more research. This was the throttle positioning sensor I had to get from the wrecking yard, and so I think with that being not calibrated correctly is why it shoots right up at idle, or goes in idles like at 2500 or so. So I think that's the problem. Don't know for sure. Got the rig running, but letting it try to burn off all that WD-40 and stuff I used on the exhaust. Letting it get up to temp to see what we've got after that. I have a horrible whining noise that maybe the water pump, not sure where that's coming from yet. And it is idling really high. It's idling at is that 25? So we're gonna let it run for another couple of minutes, and then we'll shut her down, and well, let's see if we can make any changes to it. That made some of the whining go away. You know how I always say I'm not a mechanic? Well, I cracked open the radiator a little soon, shot the cap out. Oh, there's the cap right there. Alright, now that I found the cap, what we're going to try to do here, filled it back up again, is we're going to see if we can adjust the idle screw here, back that out a little bit. That may have an effect on it, it may not, I don't know. We're going to see. We got to get this thing down from around 2,500 down to 1,800, around there at idle. It could also have something to do with the wiring that I did down there on that job, because we just wired that in straight to straight. Basically whatever was on that pin in orientation on the other one was wired into that pin orientation on that one, because I wasn't able to find a schematic. I think I might have found part of the problem. So the research that I found said to use all the sensors off the 2.0 onto the 2.3. But if you look into the TPS sensor, on the 2-liter, it is a vertical bar that rotates back. On the 2.3, it's a horizontal bar. It also rotates back, but, well, that's going to fall. The TPS is set for a vertical bar. See, the bar sits right in there, straight up and down, and it has this, so it has the tension on it. And so when you stick it in onto this one with the horizontal bar, nothing happens. Like, I don't even think it gets touched when that thing opens and closes, because it just doesn't spin far enough. So you can take a look here. Let's see what I'm saying. So I have to get the 2.3 TPS sensor. So hopefully the wrecking yard, I can find one in the wrecking yard tomorrow. Or maybe I'll just spend the money and get one. I think they're like 100 and something bucks though. I don't know. Got the correct throttle position sensor that goes to the 2.3 throttle body and stuff. And then it wouldn't stink and start. And finally I got to start. And now it is idling at about 2,000, 2,300 RPMs. I'm pretty sure that has to do with the wiring on the, was that idle air? Because like I said in the last video, I think all I did was just wire them straight to the way they were in the other one. So I'm going to pull that apart and double check that, make sure that is the way it should be. Also, I noticed that because it's revving so high at idle, it gets hot. This one, scorching hot. There's pressure in it. This tube down here, not hot at all, but there is pressure in it. And then right here, hot, not hot. So I'm going to do a thermostat in that thing tomorrow, and we'll see if that at least remedies that problem. And we'll split these wires up so we can get a good look at them and see if that'll bring the RPM back down. Really quick before I finish up for the night, I'll show you guys what it does. So it idles right around there, but then it slowly creeps its way up to around 2. So, like I said, I'm pretty sure that has to do with the way I wired the idle air control sensor thing, but not 100% sure. Worst case scenario, we can always wire it back the way it came and switch over to the 2.0 throttle body, and then I won't have to wire anything. And the only difference is that this throttle body is bigger, So that's why I wanted to use it, because it'll suck more air in. But whatever, we'll figure it out. We're going to end this video here. I don't know how many segments I've put together, but it's probably close to being 10 minutes long or so. I've got it running. I've got it moving. You see, it used to be over there. I moved it over here. The problem is I can't test drive it because that body mount that we ruined at the Rubicon has caused there to not be enough room to turn those tires. Every time I go to turn them, they'll just make all kinds of hectic noise. They don't fit anymore. So I got to fix that body mount. Then I'll be able to test drive it. Something's still not right with I don't know if this thing is bad, the idle air control valve, because it doesn't matter if I plug this in or unplug it, I get the same result. Nothing changes. So I know that previously when I left them unplugged, it shot right up. So I'm wondering if the wiring is incorrect and that's not causing it to pulse like it should, which is plausible. My other thought, what I may end up doing, and I haven't decided for sure yet, is switching this back to the 2.0 version and putting the 2.0 manifold back on. Because if I put that manifold back on and wire that back up, which I know would be correctly wired up, it should have no problems and run like a champ. So I may do that instead, because I can't find a schematic or anything that tells me which one of these goes to which one. And so like I said, I just set the other one next to it and just match the wires across. The whatever number one wire was on this one is the number one wire on the new one. So that might not have been it. I don't know. I couldn't find anything. All the directions on the internet say you need to rewire that, but they don't tell you how. So I don't know. I guess that's the end of this video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you stuck through this 3-part series, hopefully I'll get a 4-part series and we'll finish it out. But I got to do a couple other things, so there'll probably be a couple other videos instead in between that, and then we'll get this thing finished back up. Hope to finish it up soon, because we're a month away from Suzuki World's Fall Classic. And that's a great event that you guys should go to SuzukiWorld.com, check it out.